how 6 sessions can change a person's life. I'll give you an example. A good friend of mine, he asked me, one of his family member, was considering suicide. I go, he goes, Saj, can you speak to the person? I did. I don't usually not go to people's houses, but in this occasion I thought, I'll go. It just took one session, 1 hour, and by the end of that session, this individual realized, that the way I presented that suicide is a permanent solution. The problems that we go through are temporary. These feelings come and go, okay? And then when you talk about motivation...
suicide is not a permanent solution, it's a permanent problem.
Suicide is a permanent solution.
So do they call it a solution?
Because, just to go one step back then, so people who commit suicide, who want to commit suicide, why do they do it? They do it because they will end that pain. And in their mind, they believe that the only way that this pain, this torment, this problem will go away, the only solution that they see is suicide. So when you speak to a professional, individual, they will say, well, actually, yes, suicide is a permanent solution. You make a decision, there's no coming back. You can't say, well, I've changed my mind now, because you're dead. Okay? So when we talk about suicide, the way to present it is it's a permanent solution. Okay? But the problems you're facing are temporary. Losing a job, breaking up with your partner, not seeing your kids for a few years, whatever the issue might be at work, you're not successful, you've got low confidence, you're not being back home in 5 years and you're feeling sad, you got depression, whatever the issue might be, they're all serious and they're not minor, but they're temporary, okay? And they've all got a solution. They've all got a safe solution. They've all got coping methods, counselling, CBT, GP, medication, support network, family. And once you know that what motivates that individual, what drives them, then you realize actually there is, what are your reasons for staying in this world? Is it your children? Is it your family? Is it your future? Is it, peace of mind? And whatever it is, some people might say, well, I've got nothing to live, but there is. And I'll give you another example. I was speaking to someone at my work, and first call of the day, I want to kill myself. So, I had a detailed chat, to understand why, and what are your reasons for living? Whatever question I asked, he said nothing. I go, what interest do you have? He goes, nothing. I go, you don't have no interest at all? Then he goes, I go to the cinema, and I go to him, I think he's coming out soon, not here, Bad Boys 2. And we talked about Bad Boys for about 10-15 minutes, okay? And then he opened up, and then we talked about other interests. You talked about music, then he talked about what he wants to do. He wants to play guitar, etc. And then what happens then is that we got to an understanding of this person's interests, what motivates him, what drives, what do you want to do in the future, what is short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals, what is protective factors, in terms of his children, etc., his partner, his parents, and then it's kind of understanding, and then sometimes you can come up with this point that, would you want your young child to recognize your dead body, identify your dead body? You are not here, but what are you leaving behind? And that's what I took with some people. It's kind of making people aware that wherever life is throwing at you is how you deal with it, okay? And how you try to handle it, how you try to understand it, and get professional help. Asking for help is a strength, it's not a weakness. So right now we live in a culture where men, when it comes to men, we live in a culture where people say, be a man, grow a pair, man up. This is the worst thing you can say to someone who's struggling with anxiety, with depression, with suicidal thoughts. Because is a man not allowed to have emotions? Is a man not allowed to cry? Is a man not allowed to be sad? Is a man not allowed to, feel suicidal? Is he not allowed to just have no motivation? Of course he is. So don't say man up, because that is ignorance.
Is that something